Hi, I'm just going live on Instagram as well. Um, Let me straighten that up. Hi, welcome to today's free masterclass. I'm so excited to share this content with you. And oh, I'm still wonky on Instagram. Here we go. So thank you so much for joining. Hi. And it's going to be a really juicy one. So, hello everyone. Hi, thanks for joining. And if you catch the replay, please say hello. Please let me know that you've been here. I'm so excited to share this content with you today. And thank you for being here. And I know it's a very high pressure time at the moment. I've been on the phone to insurance companies all day trying to get coverage to try and find my way back to be with my man. And so I'm very happy that I had the excuse to get distracted and come and work on sharing this masterclass with all of you, because it just helped me channel all of that energy of frustration, and sending you all the love wherever you are in the world, whatever's going on. So today we're going to be talking about how to stop creative burnout, which is a cause very dear to my heart. We're going to be going really deep into sharing some juicy nuggets to really understand why it happens in the first place and what you can do to shift it so that you can access your full power, access your full energy, and have that to put into all of the creative projects that you most care about, both as a business person, as a creative, as a freelancer, and as an artist, as a coach, as a healer, whatever of those labels you identify with or not. This is all about connecting you to your full creative power. So we're going to be digging into how to hit your income goals and work less so that you have more bandwidth to prioritize your creative projects. This is for you if you're a sensitive, multi-passionate, creative business owner and freelancer who has a big dream and who's ready to start enjoying more money and more fun and more creative freedom in life and business. So I'm going to talk about what it really took for me to get my energy levels back after a big burnout, to start hitting 5-figure months, and also start to create more time to free up to focus on my creative projects and really start living the life that I just lit me up and that I felt I was supposed to be living, and sacrificing less and less, doing things that didn't feel in alignment. And I'm going to be talking about how I completely healed my resistance to, being able to consistently show up and promote my work in a way that has created consistent income for me month after month, has enabled me to double my income every year for the past 3 years. And I'm going to be talking about the very juicy and important topic that's very near and dear to my heart of how I stopped undercharging for my time, phased out energy draining work, and created a 6-figure income while working half as much than I was before. So this is the paradigm that we're looking to break, right? That we need to work harder to earn more money, to have more fun, to have more of the things that we want. This is what we're breaking. Cancel, clear, delete. Nope, doesn't work. Does not work. That leads to burnout. And it doesn't work. So what does work? That's what we're going to be diving into today. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Sarah Mack. I'm a writer and a mindset coach. And my why, the reason why I do this work, the passion that drives everything that I do in my business, the reason that I show up day after day after day, I'm really passionate about connecting women to each other and to the world around them. I'm passionate about, creatives having more of a voice, having more power to be able to share their knowledge and skills and expertise, and to be able to reach more people and to be able to thrive in doing so. I'm about connecting us to our own creativity, to be able to create solutions to do things differently and to fix all of the screwed up shit that's going on in the world that is not working anymore, because we have the answers. We all have the answers. And when we access that full power and we empower ourselves, there's nothing we can't create, right? And it's beautiful when we get to access that. So I'm very passionate about supporting creative women. I also work with men. Hi, men. So you are welcome to this conversation. But supporting creative women is something that I'm just an expert in because I am a woman. I've been through some of the very unique challenges that creative women face. I deeply understand them. And obviously there's a lot in there for men as well. So because I know when you as a creative are empowered, when you have money, when you have resources, when you have time and energy, you're contributing to conversations within our communities that create real change that's really, really important. So this is all about helping you to voice your values out there to more people so that you can make an impact, so that you can make a change. And the thing that I'm most passionate about supporting people with is, the work that really is enables us to be able to do that, to be able to get to that next level, to allow ourselves to grow to that next level, whatever that looks like for you. And there's no one answer, right? Everyone has a unique path, and the path to your next level, and what I'm going to be talking about today, is really supporting you to heal any stories about low self-worth so that you can have more creative freedom, success, money, and impact by really understanding how to get your work out there to the right people who will truly benefit in collaborating with you in collaborations that will change the world when you get to make that happen, and to really empower you to be more visible, to share your unique message, and to do work that's valuable to your community. So this is the big problem that I solve for people, and it shows up as a fear of visibility a lot of the time, right? That's where the creative burnout comes from, is the resistance, is the heaviness of the challenging energy that we face when we start to bare our souls, when we start to align with who we really are, and we own that, and we give ourselves permission to thrive at the next level. That's when all of those unconscious and those old programmings start to sabotage, start to create heaviness, start to create resistance. And it's those fears, that's the thing that creates the resistance. So that's what we're talking about here. Those stories that are underlying why you're not already showing up and sharing your message in a way that creates results, why you're not raising your prices, why you're not exploding your visibility and, getting your message out there and making more of an impact in your work. Why aren't you doing it? What is it that's going on for you internally that's the barrier between you experiencing the results that you're capable of and that you're really committed to creating? So another one of the problems that I solve is undercharging. And this again links to those stories of self-worth. And, that also leads to overworking, that leads to burnout. And it's like deprioritization of self and your projects and the things that you care about and the things that you really desire, like deprioritizing those things and just prioritizing what other people have said is the status quo, how you should be doing things. And also fear and victimization in our relationship with money. We've all got this stuff going on for one level or another. So there's no shame, right? It's just taking a good look at it, taking a deep breath, being brave, and looking at some of these ways in which we allow ourselves to be held back that we've just inherited. And, it's nobody's fault. We're not about playing the blame game, but we do get to strategically understand what's going on, use tools and processes to be able to shift all of that crap so that we can have more freedom. So I do that by helping my clients to listen to themselves, to access their intuition, and to ask really powerful questions to empower themselves to create their own solutions. So this is all about overcoming fear, overcoming resistance, overcoming procrastination, to being able to make more money, doing the work that you're passionate about while working less so you can enjoy more creative freedom. So if that sounds good to you, please hit the love and the like button. And please share any comments, any insights, anything, any questions that come up for you as we're going through. And I'm happy to answer them, especially if you're watching the replay. Anastasia says, yes, fear of visibility is so real amongst creative entrepreneurs. Yes, so I'm so excited to talk about this today because this shit's got to end. And if you're anything like me, maybe you're at that stage where you didn't even realize that was going on for you. It took me 2 years to get my first website up, and it was literally on my to-do list every single day. And every single day I thought I was going to get to it, and I didn't notice because it's like I was so blocked there was just that deep fear, these parts of me that were in so much resistance for me being visible with the things that I truly cared about, that really were a part of who I was and represented things that I valued on a really deep level. So once I overcame my fear of visibility, once I identified it, once I did the work, I was able to really claim parts of me that I'd actually dissociated from or suppressed for years and years and years. And that allowed me to, one day at a time, one action step at a time, really create a life and a business that I loved, that really has empowered me in so many more ways than I had ever experienced before. Started earning 5-figure months as a coach and a writer. Had the freedom to, really reclaim my identity as a performer, which I'd locked away to, be able to earn money and have a proper job for 8 years when I was working in film. and to give myself permission to create time and resources to do that for myself, which really enabled me to heal from severe depression, from 5 years of chronic fatigue. That was just a mega burnout that happened as a result of me ignoring those parts of myself and allowing those blocks to continue. So this is serious shit, right? We have to pay attention to this because it'll show up in one way or another in our health and in our wellness if we don't. So I completely transformed my relationship with money, my self-worth, my ability to create next level results with more and more ease year after year after year. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. Yes, it can not always be the easiest work, but I promise you, it always pays off in the long run. And the results, just like, there's a ripple effect. Every time you make one shift, every time you show up and do this work, the ripple effect will send you in a different direction throughout the rest of your life. So I've struggled on this journey. I have come from a place of low confidence. Even though I always considered myself kind of a confident person, there was another level. And, I had a lot of self-worth going on just as a woman from the culture that I grew up in, from struggling in an abusive relationship with my dad. And how did this show up? So this was showing up for me, and I was completely blind to all of these patterns, not being able to put myself first in terms of my health, my financial well-being, my energy levels, to really take care of myself and cultivate health and wellness. That was something that I just was not prioritizing. I was not showing up for that, which led to my burnout. It showed up in emotional patterns that were really undermining my ability to really step into taking enough good care of myself to be able to create high level results, which is what, when these like issues started rising to the surface for me to be able to understand and to deal with, when I started stepping into, reaching for those big goals. And that's always the way with transformation. When you give yourself permission to own what it is that you desire and you start taking action in that direction, everything that's not congruent with where you want to go is going to start bubbling up for you to be able to work through, for you to be able to shift. So, there were parts of my psyche, parts of my belief system, inner narratives and emotional patterns that would lead me to self-sabotage over and over and over in so many ways, particularly in my financial health. This led to a burnout. This led to me giving away all of my energy to everybody else, overworking, working really hard on film sets, taking a master's, doing all of these projects. I was doing a lot of things that I really enjoyed and were making me happy to a certain level, but it just stopped working. And, there was only so much I could give away before, I just ran out, right? I would give away my money as soon as I earned it, overspending, borrowing, avoiding, tending to my financial responsibilities. And so these are all little symptoms of the deep underlying ways in which the fear of visibility really starts to show up for us. When we fear really being ourselves, really stepping out and giving ourselves permission to create that next level of life that we, are feeling called to create. So my journey has been really just doing the work and releasing these stories of trapped emotions. And yeah, Anastasia says, working and undercharging is so draining of your energy and creativity. Definitely. And you recognize those symptoms too. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people do. So what did this journey look like for me? Look, painstakingly going through all of these stories, identifying all of these limiting stories, all of these emotional patterns, really coming to understand what was going on for me so I could shift it, so I could release it, releasing trapped emotions, releasing shame and the guilt that I'd been holding as true, thinking that, I just wasn't good enough to create the things that my heart really wanted to create in life, or that it was going to be really hard for me for some reason. And the truth is, it is challenging to face up to the uncomfortable, toxic emotions and stories but we have to do it so we can clean that shit up. And I promise you, that is the hardest part. Because redefining your relationship with money, getting your message out there, being visible, attracting dream clients, all of that stuff is way easier than we make it when we're sitting on these stories that aren't supporting us, that are creating blocks to being able to take that action and create momentum in a different direction. So, obviously you need the action, but it means nothing without the mindset. That's why I preach mindset over and over and over, because when you get to that shift through the mindset work, then you're inspired and the actions just comes very naturally and it flows. And you don't have to push and you don't have to churn and burn. So when we release the sense of unworthiness created by these bullshit stories that we picked up from our culture around us, the actions, the strategies, the results, they start to unfold so much more naturally and with so much ease. So the path becomes clear, the resistance and the procrastination melts away. So I'm going to share with you a little bit more on this subject. Like I mentioned at the beginning, how have I bounced back from burnout to high energy levels, 5-figure months, and time to work on my creative projects? So like I mentioned before, it's this big issue that, you know, especially for women, we're very much conditioned to care for everybody else and everything else before ourselves, like to martyr ourselves. This is also it's a big part of religious dogma as well, right? Like this idea that we're unworthy and that we have to repent and we have to give and give and give. And then that is, you know, we're seen as holy for being able to do that. We're praised for being able to do that. And, you know, yes, generosity and giving, absolutely so key for an important, flourishing, healthy life, you know, as a productive member of society. But you have to give to yourself first. Otherwise that pot's going to run out very quickly and you're going to be no good for anybody, right? So it's the self-prioritization piece, the self-love, the self-care, and really understanding that on a deep level and how it's showing up for you or not, and what your next level looks like. So for me, I was really finding myself unable to prioritize the things that I truly wanted to follow through on, that were really valuable and important and meaningful to me, that my soul was really calling for me to pay attention to and to follow through on. And that's a self-worth issue. It's a mindset issue. It's an energy management issue. And it's all about digging and flipping whatever stories are going on that are blocking you from prioritizing the actions that you know will take you to your next level. And that is the work as a daily practice that has to be happening. So for me, it was really about understanding and committing to the daily mindset work, really unpacking the bullshit stories that were holding me back, looking my fear in the face and unpacking that too. One day at a time, one pattern at a time, one fear story at a time, one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And, you know, it's not just about doing the journaling. It's not just about identifying the patterns and shifting them and rewriting the stories. Like, yes, it's really, really powerful work, but you have to start integrating that in your daily life. And you are going to start showing up in your relationships differently. You're going to start showing up in conversations differently. And that is what makes you magnetic to opportunities, to money, to clients, to just attracting things that are aligned and that help you to move to wherever it is that you're going next, seemingly without you even doing anything sometimes. So, so the mindset work, also creating accountability, right? Just like taking care of myself and giving myself permission for it to be easy, and setting up the structure and the new culture that enables me to thrive, that allows me to step out of the culture that led me feeling like I had low self-worth, like I wasn't good enough, like I was stuck, like it was going to be hard, and creating that new culture. So through joining communities, so important, that are aligned with that next level, with people who are also moving to that next level, who understand the transformation that you're in, who support that and who celebrate that. Coaching groups, hiring high-level mentors. So doing the mindset work, everything changed for me when I started working with coaches one-on-one, because you can't hide when you're in a coaching call, right? Your friends will agree with your bullshit. Your friends won't force you to stand up to your bullshit, because it's really uncomfortable work. And, you know, if you have friends that do that, then they are gold, and treasure them and celebrate them and thank them for calling you out. But when you're in a coaching call, when you've hired somebody to help you, to get you where you want to go, they're not going to put up with your bullshit stories. They're going to lovingly, hopefully, help you identify where you're stuck, where you're in a story, so that you can shift, so that you can release, so that you can rewrite that behavior pattern and see that new direction where maybe you were completely blocked before. It makes all the difference. As soon as that happened for me, bang, income shot up, ease, less work, way more emotional stability, well-being. So yeah, really important message, that one. Another one, I decluttered with my relationship with money. So this is mindset and daily habits. It's the stories that I'm telling myself, and it's the actions that I'm taking. I'm still on a massive journey with this. Still definitely a work in progress, but boy, am I better than I was, 3 or 4 years ago. And the financial results have been showing up for me as a result of that. So honing in on my schedule is another one, tweaking constantly, monitoring, tracking, holding myself accountable, rebuilding trust in myself, creating the daily habits of the person who has creative freedom, who commits to her creative practices and projects, and who has consistent income in fun ways, and who loves herself, values herself, charges her worth, loves her life. And, it's always in progress. There's always another level. There's always a baby step that we get to make, but it gets better and better and better. And it's not about being perfect. Being perfect does not exist. It is a massive mess along the way, but there's always a new edge to maneuver. And when you allow yourself to always be moving and shifting, it just gets more and more and more fulfilling. Anastasia says, yes, community and accountability is so key to leveling up. And my work with you helped me face my relationship with money for the first time. Oh, Anastasia, I'm so happy to hear that. Anastasia's amazing. Check her out, The Art of Aligned Living. She's an incredible registered therapy hypnotherapist coach. And so what are the results that came from me in undertaking this work and making all of these shifts? I started hitting 10 and 20K months. I started having a consistent income while shifting to work that was more and more fulfilling to me, letting go of the work that I found draining, the clients that I didn't love working with as much, and transitioning to more fun, doubling my income, working less, having way more time and energy and freedom to say yes to performances, collaborations, writing, performing in festivals, open mics, getting my confidence back as a performer and reclaiming that part of my identity that I'd shoved away because I thought it wasn't going to make me any money and I just had to fit into the real world. And was taking a lot of energy before by being in resistance to just allowing myself to be fully expressed as the person that I really am. So how did I find a way to consistently show up and promote my work to create a consistent income without feeling exhausted and drained by it? This is another really key conversation that it just really want you to take in is, so first of all, I cut through the busy work and honed in only on what was essential, like really the bare minimum. I don't work crazy hours. I can't. I need naps and rest and downtime. So, and that hasn't always been the case. I mean, I know there are people who work way more than me. I know there are people who work way less than me. But the key thing that I see with myself and with my clients, like, what is it that helps you to create more impact with less work? It's the C word, confidence. Because when I worked on my confidence, when I shifted my mindset and my inner narratives, I saved so much time dilly-dallying and waiting and questioning and doubting and overthinking. And those are all the activities that waste so much time and energy and make your work hard. It's a lack of confidence. It's not strategy. It's not, yes, there are things, a million things that you can do, shortcuts that you can take, but you will not access them if you're caught up in the over worrying and the questioning and the lack of clarity, because you are not fully embodied in your confidence and your full faith and trust that you are capable of executing this desire that you have given yourself permission to own. So, I also obviously learned high performance strategies to optimize my physical, emotional, and energetic state day after day, moment after moment. It all starts and ends with mindset. And in a way, it was a blessing that I went through that period of, stepping into something new, not having that much confidence, having loads of self-doubt, because I made so much extra work for myself that I had to learn all these high performance strategies because I was so limited, because I was wasting so much energy. And, I'm far from perfect and definitely still working on it. But I just, if you find something is difficult, and obviously when you're stepping into new things, it's okay to not be fully confident in it. But when you bring a mindset of just full faith and trust in your ability, that you can, whatever you can do is enough, and you don't question yourself, and you don't go over the decision 50 million times, you don't try and plan everything out from A to B before you just go for it, you're going to save so much more time, execute so much more impactfully. And I've launched all of my courses one-on-one group programs, all of them I've launched before I've created a single piece of content. Like I've had the outline of the modules, like I've known exactly what the transformation is and what I'm, what the journey that I'm taking my clients through, but I will not create a single module until I've got people that have joined and paid for the program. So I've never gone, I've only had a couple of programs that I didn't really have many people sign up for. Thank goodness I didn't spend hours and hours and hours creating the content for it. So it's little things like that. When you shift your confidence, you start to work in completely different ways that saves you so much more time and energy, that makes it so much more fun and creates so much spaciousness. So, so I created habits through tracking, through scheduling, through creating processes that still allow for flow and spontaneity. But the key habit that I cultivated that allowed me to step into that confidence and that self-trust is the habit of listening to myself, built into my daily life as a non-negotiable practice, because nobody can tell you the answer. Nobody can tell you what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you. Your intuition always knows. So you better be listening. You better be following through on it and building that evidence and that proof that when you follow through on it, it works out well for you. So how did I stop undercharging for my time, phase out energy draining work, and create a 6-figure income while working half as much? Number one thing I tell everybody, it's an obvious answer. Don't be annoyed with me. Put your prices up. We're going to dig in a little bit deeper into this, but it works. You're probably undercharging. If you're a creative, if you're a woman, you're probably undercharging massively. Like I believe that creatives and artists should be earning as much as doctors and surgeons, because we create the same amount of impact. We could deliver the same amount of value, even if it's a completely different type. It's world changing, like revolutionary transformational value. That's really freaking important. So price accordingly. And obviously, you can either switch your prices and then go through the discomfort of figuring out how the hell to align with that internally. Then there's obviously steps that you can take to be able to align with stepping out and raising your prices, and really, getting deeply connected to the conversation of the value that you provide, really understanding how to articulate that in a way that really reaches the people that you are most capable of serving. And that's really the journey that I went through, just learning to articulate that. And when you have that lack of confidence, when you have that cloud of unworthiness and those narratives that are going on for you, you don't see it. You're so disconnected, and you're more connected to the doubt and to the self-questioning, because that's how you've been consistently, that's like the behavior patterns that you've been in throughout, the culture that you've grown up in, your entire childhood, the way that you've been treated, that has, caused these mechanisms. So it's really just about undoing them and starting to retrain your brain to notice the value, to understand it, to be able to communicate with it, to be able to connect with it, and to be able to celebrate it. It's absolutely, completely revolutionary. And it is just a day after day retraining, reconditioning process. And once you start to do it, then those ripple effects just start to happen very naturally. You start to step in, your tolerance for under earning just completely shifts, and you're like, I'm not available for that anymore. Like, why the hell would I be charging like crazy? When you look back on, when you first stepped into something, when you were in a lower level of confidence, as your confidence builds, as you build more evidence in your own ability to be able to create results, and really understand the process of how you do that, being able to communicate that in a powerful way, you become more and more skilled and less available for not charging the prices that, really allow you to do your best work and really allow your clients to step up and receive a benefit from working with you in an even bigger way. Because when people come in with with a higher level of commitment, it's like you will massively see the difference. I'm sure if you've had any experience with this, like your higher paying clients with your lower paying clients, there's more commitment, there's more energy to be able to work with. The results come a lot more easy, and it's a lot more fulfilling, and the clients are a lot more receptive as well. So, that's shifting into that mentality of abundance, like really releasing those stories that people don't have enough money to pay, my community doesn't have, like whatever stories are going on for you about there not being enough, about there being a scarcity. It's all complete bullshit. It's just a perspective, right? And when you shift your perspective, when you shift that narrative, you start to create that different reality. So, really specifically like working on that in connection to your value, to your offering, to your audience, to your messaging and your client facing conversation and your sales process and your strategy. So obviously the money mindset work, completely rewiring my inner narratives around money, one by one, picking them out, examining them, rewriting them, reconditioning them. That's what it takes. Every single day I do it, every single day. When I stop doing it, I can see the results in my level of income that's coming in. Every single day I do it. And, you know, the big piece of this is really stepping into the unknown and taking a risk. Like, I just decided to make it work through the process of building a deep self-trust and proving that it works when I listen to myself and when I act on my intuitive hunches and when I see how incredibly it works out. Then why wouldn't I? Why would I not listen to myself, right? And that's a process of just testing, taking baby steps, stepping out, challenging your fears, seeing which ones come up, rewriting them, releasing them, and, you know, rewriting the new narratives that support you to be able to step into the unknown, that to support you to take confident and decisive action. And then obviously putting the structures in place in my life that made sure it's easy for me to do the hard thing and to step out in blind faith and do things completely differently, because that's what it requires for you to have a completely different life. So I'm always working with several coaches because it's the easiest way to create rapid and powerful and satisfying transformation than trying to figure it out by yourself. And please hear this, there is nothing wrong with you for not being able to create massive transformation alone. There is nothing wrong with you if you've been through a period where maybe you haven't had some support and things got a bit stagnant. So many people I hear when they get on the phone, when they're like, oh, I'm, you know, transitioning to this really exciting career, making this huge life change, stepping into my power in this way, stepping into my creativity at a new level, creating that new next level of income. And I just feel like a failure for not being able to do it. Who has created anything remarkable alone? Nobody, zero. So putting that expectation on yourself is just self-sabotage in its own way, right? Do not do it. Do not think that you can create incredible high-level results by yourself. It is not possible. And you have the power to create all the support that you need. You get to say yes to it. You get to open up to create the resources, the support, whatever it is that you need. It's always available to you now in this moment. If you want it, if you're ready for it, if you desire it, it's meant for you, and you have the ability to access it. So this visibility, I'm just going to answer Anastasia's question here. Do you find being multi-passionate actually pulls you away from building your business and reaching your income goals? That's an amazing question. And I have like a two-prong answer to this. One of them is so that I used to self-sabotage by trying to take on too many projects at once. Like, I was doing some songwriting, I was doing some voiceovers, I was, you know, working as a copywriter, I was writing a book, I was, you know, embarking on all of this mindset work. And yeah, I burnt out. And, you know, doing the mindset work, being in transformation, it takes up a lot of bandwidth to be able to process and to be able to heal and to be able to transform. So self-worth, like when you value yourself, when you have self-compassion, and when you choose self-love as your practice that, you know, is the basis for everything, every decision that you make, giving yourself that space, you know, space is an absolute prerequisite for creativity. You can't be creative when you're consistently overthinking, overdoing. And I mean, to a certain extent, like, I definitely think I'm the kind of person who thrives by doing a lot of different things all the time. I actually said that in my, I don't know if you have the app called The Pattern. It's a really great astrological app. And they described me as a person who thrives when I'm doing, you know, constant change, doing many things all the time. And I know a lot of creative people identify with that. But it's really recognizing, like, where are your barriers? Where do you need to take care of yourself? Where do you need to take space? And where are you self-sabotaging by trying to take on things that, you know, you're not really giving yourself the right support to be able to allow yourself to thrive at something. So it was really difficult for me to give up. I was like into photography, I was into filmmaking, I was into so many things at once. And it took a lot for me to start to let go of some of the projects that I had going on. and to give myself permission to be a little bit more strategic and have a little bit more of a long-term view and say, I'm going to, give it my all to this thing now. And when I started to do that and just gave myself like one key, side creative project at a time, that shifted a lot for me. And I started to have a lot more success and results and productivity by choosing fewer, I would say no more than like 3 major projects at once. And then you can move on to another one. But then on the flip side, I always work with my clients in cultivating a creative daily practice as something that you do for yourself. Because when you have something that's not work related, that's not, outcome oriented, that's not, another project that you're working on because you want to create this external achievement, but actually something creative that you do for yourself every day, that just cultivates that connection with yourself, that you give to yourself for pure enjoyment. When you give that to yourself, that creates a magnetic energy that allows you to have success in everything that you do. And that's really cultivating your energy by paying attention and valuing and cultivating your creativity. So for me, for example, that would be obviously, I have creative practices in meditation and breath work, and journaling as well is a very creative practice. And then I'll have, but I think it's important to be able to create something. There's something that really fulfilling when you create something from nothing. So whether that's just putting on some music and dancing, or playing guitar, or singing a song, or doing a doodle or a sketch, or whatever it is for you, making some jewelry, doing some knitting, something that just gets you into that creative zone. It de-stresses you. Like, there's so many benefits. I talk a lot about this in my program, Creative Fun Club, which is the 30-day to tap into, to create a daily creative practice. So I hope that answers your question. And okay, so there's nothing wrong with you for not being able to create massive transformation alone. Just going to underscore that. So visibility, this is really deep shit that we're clearing, this fear of visibility. And it's not just like, oh, I'm scared of being rejected, and that, like, some trolls on the internet are going to be mean to me. This is like ancestral women, even maybe if you're a man, maybe if you believe this, that you have past lives or whatever, like, people were literally burnt at the stake or buried alive for speaking their truth and taking a stand for the things that they value, in opposition to the state and to the culture at large. So people have literally been killed and murdered for speaking their truth. And even if you don't believe in past lives, like, it's in our literature, like, we're very aware of these stories. We're very aware how dangerous it can be to be creatively free, to take a stand for that, to be an individual, to go against the grain, and to, come with an opposing perspective on something. Especially in your families too, right? Maybe you had a different perspective on something and then everybody laid into you, and then you felt threatened because that's your family, and if it doesn't feel good, then that's your daily happiness that you're risking. So this is very deep survival, like human tribal programming, that we are resisting being rejected. We're resisting being attacked, and we're resisting going against the grain. But these are very old programs, these are very old stories, and it's, we get to rewrite it, we get to purge these fears, we get to recondition these narratives, because they're not true. We have so much more freedom now, and we have the capacity to isolate ourselves from people who disagree with us. We have the ability to turn the screens off and go away and, find solace and protect ourselves without, getting murdered by the tribe for saying something on Twitter that nobody liked or whatever. So just know that it's an active daily process, that it's really deep work, that it's affecting you in ways that you're not conscious of. And it's so, so, so powerful when you give yourself permission to do the work. It changes everything. It changes the way that you feel. It changes the way you take action. And that changes your results in a huge way, without you feeling like you have to push and force and then get exhausted by trying to keep it all together, because there's such a heavy part of you that's just resisting you stepping into this work. So So this is really how I help my clients to step into their next level. Obviously, the visibility piece, the fears, that's just one part of the puzzle of the mindset work that comes up when you really start stepping into the action to be building out your dream life, building out your dream business, taking steps to cultivate that next level of income through the way that you're most excited to be able to create it. And I do this by helping people to really step into their most exciting offering. And you know which one it is. It's the one that you've been resisting for months. It's the way that you really want to be bringing in an income that maybe you still have some doubts around and some fears around. And so I support my clients to launch their most aligned offer by defining whatever it is, the most feel-good transformation that you've already embodied, that you're most excited to help other people with now in this moment. That's the one that you're really ready for, the one that will be an easy sell and the one that will be really fun to deliver. And together we work to create a feel-good strategy to sell it, to create authentic messaging and an action plan that's aligned to who you are and where you're at, aka you get to do it your way, because FYI, that's the only way that's going to work. That's the way where you're going to have the least resistance and the least push and the least burnout. And PS, you do have all the answers. You always have access to the answers, even if there are many excuses for why you don't, you do. And that's where the mindset work comes in. So it's really about creating your dream business by phasing out what's not aligned to your highest vision of your life and work, and start taking really courageous action to build out your new next version of a really fulfilling life, financially, energetically, in your schedule, in the clients and the team that you're working with in your business, in all of it. And this is important, in your personal relationships and how you're showing up and talking about who you are and what you do, and releasing the emotional resistance that you're currently carrying around that. And now, that's not something that I explicitly work on with my clients, but it's something that always comes up as a side effect. When you start to do that deep work and you start to shift those inner narratives, immediately you start to see the ripple effects in your personal relationships and how you feel in them. And it's really amazing how that happens, because how you're showing up in your personal relationships is always a mirror for how you're showing up in the rest of your life, including in your business and your financial well-being. So whenever you've got personal problems, look at it, dig in there, understand it, because that's a key information that's going to help you to access all of the things that you desire in every single area of your life when you shift that inner resistance. So I'm really excited to launch my new 6-month one-on-one mentorship program called Creative Business Badass. And it's really about building your dream creative business. That's a rock solid, no-brainer offer of life-changing value to people that you love working with. And that gives you the space to be creatively free on your life and hit your next level income goals. So this is the foundation of all of the work that I've been talking about today, that's helped me to double my income every year for 3 years, build 2 location independent businesses, travel to 15 countries, phased out done for you writing work, and transitioned into scalable coaching programs earning me anything from $1,000 to $15,000. I've built a business where I launch whatever I feel like. I've never paid any money on ads. It's all been through organic marketing, through powerful messaging that creates sales. It's all online. I've also run in-person workshops, but this is about you really understanding how to create offers that are a joy for you to be able to deliver, and to attract clients that are a joy for you to be able to work with. All of my clients are dream clients who I absolutely love working with. And that's the power of having really aligned, authentic, and spot on messaging. So, here are a few client results to attest to the power of when you start doing this mindset work and really start to understand that conversation of how to articulate your value and share it. Helen, she's an author. She doubled her income as a writer, hitting 9K months, took a bunch of time off to travel and research her next book, just through really focusing on the daily mindset work, and completely shifting her own inner narrative around her own self-worth. Shirley, she was approached by a publisher after avoiding them like the plague because she was so nervous about getting her work out there. She booked some one-on-one mentoring clients so she could phase out some other graphic design clients that she didn't particularly enjoy working with. creating a lot more freedom and creativity. Anastasia, she attracted a buyer for her fashion company. She launched her coaching business and started attracting more committed and aligned clients once she raised her prices. Nicole, she has a massage business, and completely out of the blue, when she was getting her nails done, she met someone who just had the perfect space for her to be able to move into, to be able to up-level her business, move out of the studio in her parents' place that she was working out from, and just allowed her business to start growing. Yeva, she pivoted to focus on supporting women with eating disorders with a messaging strategy that helped her clearly define and feel confident in her new direction and start attracting clients into her new program. You know that feeling when you're launching a new direction, you just don't know if it's going to work, and you'd be so excited if it did. The messaging strategy, building the messaging strategy, is such a powerful way for you to create that inner clarity, which brings you confidence. So when you share your message with clients, whether that's in conversation, whether you meet people randomly in real life, or whether you're sharing about what you do, obviously online and in your marketing strategy. Lee attracted 2 clients to her new offer before she even started marketing it in the space of just a few weeks. Malika launched her music PR company and started attracting dream clients even when she was in recovery from health limitations and chronic pain. Like, we do not need to be perfect to get what we want now. We do not need to, fix XYZ, whatever it is that we feel we're struggling with. You can create easily what it is that you desire now. When you get that mindset piece in place and you start rewriting those stories, you can pull your dreams and desires into the present. And by the way, a lot of these results happened for my clients without them even beginning their online marketing and strategically selling their new direction. And this is really the power of mindset and clarity of focus. And it's all about alignment. When you align with the thing you're most passionate about sharing with the world, when you feel empowered to talk about it and you embody the sense of value that you provide, it changes absolutely everything, and you just become magnetic to opportunity, and it falls into your lap as if out of nowhere. So I'm going to share with you. We've got another question. Hi, Holly. Confidence is an interesting one during time of change. Confidence that you're moving in the right direction and doing what you should be doing. So much is changing each day. Do you have advice around that? Yeah, so that's where it all comes down to the mindset practice, because we're creating everything. So it's really owning our power to be able to create specifically what it is that we desire. So it's 2 things, right? Because we can create whatever we want, but we're going to create with more ease and more passion and more excitement the things that we genuinely desire. So that's the most important part of the work. Is like, if I could have anything, if I really acknowledge the desires and the inner stories that are happening with repetition for me, what are they? Because when you truly acknowledge that, when you're truly in alignment with your desires, then things start to unravel for you and to start to line up and to manifest very, very quickly. And then when you start to take baby steps around that, you see your power to be able to create that. You build self-trust. So when you're doing something that you've never done before and you have a lot of doubt and fear around it, and then you succeed at it, it's about stacking that evidence bank and really telling yourself that, well, look at all of the things I've created that I never knew I could create before, and to be in that self-celebration and consistently creating that inner narrative that you can create everything that you desire. So I hope that was helpful. So I'm going to just share a little bit more about the modules in my 6-month mentorship program. And so I'm really providing everything that I've talked about today, walking you through that journey of, we start with the mindset, stepping into the real you as a daily practice, the you who owns what she desires, the you who takes action on her desires, and you who creates them with ease and effortlessness, with confidence and self-trust in your own ability, because you've proven that to yourself over and over and over again. And the key tools and processes that really allow you to recondition any kind of self-doubt or limiting belief, and give you the tools to be able to navigate your fears, as they will always come up with every new level. So key. Then the next piece is creating a very clear, high value offer that allows you to have that freedom, right? Like, let's get into the tangible details. Like, what would it take for you to have the life that is creative freedom for you? How many hours do you want to be working? How do you want to be delivering? What are your skill sets? What do you get at? What do you enjoy doing? What do you hate doing? What is required? And what stories do you have around your ability to be able to deliver that? tap into that excitement and getting super clear on what that exact offer is for you, how to talk about it, your brand story, your uniqueness, how to really stand out from the crowd because you're being 100% authentically you, aligned to exactly what it is that you feel most called to be doing in this moment. Then I'll teach you how to double your income and work less, how to keep applying this month after month, year after year, rinse and repeat, create those transitions to more fulfilling income streams that are just built around your strengths and the things that you most love to do. Consistently up-level your money mindset and grow your income every single year. And I mean, this can start happening for you within a few weeks. Instantly start creating more money by working less. Next, we're on to growing your visibility, get seen, get paid through challenging yourself to really get your work out there, really taking a stand for what it is that you believe in, and allowing whatever fears of visibility are there for you to surface, to work through them, to purge them, so that you can create the habits of somebody who shows up, who takes a stand for who she is, who shares her message and really creates a massive contribution and an impact on her community by taking a stand for her work and doing that with consistency in a way that creates a consistent income for you with as little work as possible. Next one, make money online while you sleep, nap, and play. So this is all about setting up your digital assets, like how to represent yourself online on your website, your social media profiles, your email marketing, wherever it is that you feel called to show up, one piece at a time, right? Knowing that it's enough, knowing that the more you start to share and put yourself out there on these different platforms, in ways that whatever feels good to you in each moment as you grow, right? To allow people to be able to access you and find you 24/7, even when you're not working. Then really focus in on your schedule and like, what is it that you need to be creatively free, to feel really fully energized and to have that freedom to be able to take care of your health, to be able to take care of your creative projects and express yourself in whatever way your soul is calling you to express yourself, to have the resources and the funds and the time and the energy available to be able to do that in really fun and exciting ways. And what does your schedule look like to enable you to do that, so that you really know yourself, you're really listening to yourself, you're really taking care of yourself as your number one most valuable asset, and really get your shit together like never before so that you have a positive relationship with money. You're creating, like, intentionally and consciously the resources that are required for you to live at this level, for you to experience new levels of happiness and fulfillment and freedom, and to just stop struggling finally. Plus, you get access to my vault from the Content Queen program. So all of my trainings on, money mindset reboot, how to write all of the pages on your website, how to get into flow with your content creation, how to embody your next level, meditations to integrate everything that you're learning, to really just create the habit of somebody who's succeeding every single day. And through the mindset practices, through, your messaging and your marketing, and getting into flow with that, getting into content creation in a way that's really aligned with you and who you are and your energy levels and the message that you want to share with the world and the places that you feel called to share it. And to create systems that strategically work to bring you consistent income, to maximize your energy, to maximize your freedom and fun. So you can check out all of those bonuses, all of the modules, everything that's covered in the 6-month one-on-one program at withsarahmac.com. And there's a juicy bonus for those of you early birds. I only have a limited number of spaces available in this program. And for the early birds, between now and Thursday at 12 p.m., you get $2,000 off the program. Then the price is going to be going up. So that's just there as an incentive for you. If you're feeling called to step into this work and to really get that support to move to your next level, go and check it out, apply. We can have a talk, explore exactly what it is that you're looking to create, what your next level looks like, and the plan to be able to get you there with as much ease, speed, and fun and fulfillment as possible, and support to get you there, so that it's a fun journey, because that's the most important part, right? So I'm going to drop the link for that. Please leave any questions, any insights, anything that's come up for you during this training today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful that I've had this opportunity to share this with you today. Be more visible, do the work, do the mindset work, keep showing up. And there's never been a more apt time to be going inside and doing the sorting and releasing the resistance and creating new habits to birth your dream life that's going to give you the creative freedom that your soul is craving and asking for you to create. So I'm just going to check to see if we have any questions before I wrap up. If you have any other questions, please do. Oh, here we go. Holly. She was asking more about what confidence, what we're facing now. Oh, but maybe it's all about staying with the same strategy and not getting caught up in the madness that's happening around the world with people losing jobs. Yeah. So I'm a big believer in always listening to your intuition because it always has the answer. And I know that, we are in a time of uncertainty, but I was talking to my friend about this the other day, that it's really about choosing faith and choosing love over fear every single time, right? Because even if you get the coronavirus, yeah, it's going to suck. I've experienced massive illness in my life and it's not nice, but we survive it. We'll get over it. We'll learn something from it and we'll get on with our life. Even if we don't survive it, even if we die, then it'll be the end of the life and we'll be fine and we'll go on to whatever comes next, right? So there's never, we can give our energy away to fear moment to moment and allow it to steal our present moment, or we can just choose to be in faith. We can choose to listen to our intuition. We can choose to cultivate focus on whatever it is that we desire to create, or whatever it is that will allow us to make the most of the time that we do have, to celebrate it, to spread joy, to, take care of ourselves, to answer our soul and do whatever it's calling us to do, and to really listen. And I think that's, the gift of where we are right now, is that everything's up in the air, nothing is certain, and everything is changing. So when we don't have those, consistent signposts to be able to navigate, we get to just tune into ourselves, because we're connected to our environment in so many ways that we're just unconscious of on a day-to-day basis, particularly with all the distractions of all the activity and everything that our culture, allows us to do on a daily basis. So yeah, my message is listen, like check in with your desires, listen, sit with the discomfort, see what lesson it has for you. What is there to learn in this situation? How is it that we're being invited to grow and transform? And I know that, incredible things will always come when we allow ourselves to do that. So that's my little coronavirus message for you. Stay safe, everybody. Take care, follow, whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing to take care of your own health and the health of everyone in your community, and sending you so much love. And thank you so much for watching today. Bye.